I retired and then made the bold decision to sell my house and move into an apartment. Not because I had to, but because it aligned with the future I'm planning. I know what you're thinking. Who does that? We're taught that home ownership is the smart financial move, especially in retirement. But for me, selling my home was the right financial move. And in this video, I'll show you all the reasons why, how it gave me more freedom, fewer headaches, and better control over my retirement plan. Just a few weeks ago, I handed over the keys to my beautiful 3-story home and downsized into a 1-level rental. Newly retired, no more steady paychecks. Some close to me didn't understand the move at first. I heard questions like, why would you sell now? Aren't you worried about rising rents? You are going to give up on so much equity. But they were missing the point. This wasn't panic, it was strategy. A move that I needed to make for this next chapter of life. One of the first things to realize in retirement is your money needs to behave differently. It's not just about growth anymore. It's also about stability, predictability, and simplicity. When I was working, I could absorb surprise costs relatively easily. Now, every unexpected repair is a disappointing pain in my backside. As any homeowner knows, costs never come when it's convenient. And mine started stacking up fast. My monthly mortgage payment was $1,500, a payment I can manage comfortably. But that's not the whole story. That's the minimum that I pay every month. Property taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, it all adds up fast. Some months can be calm, while others, $3,500 for a hot water heater, $1,000 for a leaking pipe. Every issue meant phone calls to contractors, chasing quotes, stress, and hoping I chose the right contractor who could fit me into their schedule. On average, I was spending $1,800 a month on housing, not including utilities. Now, my apartment rent is $1,200 flat. That is the maximum I will pay every single month. If something breaks, I make a call and it's handled. That's $600 a month in savings, or $7,200 a year. And as a retiree, that savings isn't just about dollars, it's also about reclaiming time, energy, and peace of mind. But there's something else at play here. There's another really big reason I sold right after retiring: my local real estate market. Home prices in my area have been going up fast, about 10% a year for 5 years straight, which was awesome. But recently I noticed a shift. Houses were sitting on the market longer. Big price drops started popping up in listings every week. Fewer bidding wars, more motivated sellers. The market here is cooling, and I didn't want to miss my window. I wanted to sell while we were still in a seller's market. So I sold. I walked away with a nice equity check, money that used to be trapped in my walls. Now it's sitting in a CD earning 4.5%. That's generating thousands a year in passive income, and it's liquid, patiently waiting to go towards my next home when the time is right. If you're still watching, you might be wondering, but what about building equity? That age-old question. Aren't you losing out long-term? Let's talk about that. In an ideal world, I would have retired with a fully paid off home. That would have given me more stability and flexibility. But that's not my situation, and I know I'm not the only one. And let's be real, in the early years of a mortgage, you're mostly paying interest, not building meaningful equity. And I hadn't owned my home for very long, so I was paying mostly interest. So yes, I'm renting by choice, temporarily, and it's allowing me to stay flexible, strategic, and liquid. And I'm also keeping my equity cash fluid and protected, ready for my next home purchase. And in the meantime, I'm avoiding all the surprise costs that come with owning a home. I traded long-term maybe value for short-term control and flexibility. And at this stage in my retirement, that feels like the right move. This decision wasn't just financial, it was practical too. My beautiful home, 3 stories, no bathroom or bedroom on the main floor, laundry in the basement. At 60, those stairs aren't getting any easier. This wasn't a home that I would be able to age in place at. I needed to shift to a smaller 1-story home. So I made a preemptive move before the house became a burden, while the market was at a peak. Now I'm in a beautiful 1-level apartment. Everything I need is on 1 floor, and I'm just a stone's throw away from the city bike trails, which I love for me. Everything right now is simpler, lighter, easier, no regrets. But I'm not done with home ownership. I'm just hitting pause, taking a bit of an emotional reprieve, if you will. In about a year, I'll be house shopping again, this time with cash in hand, no home to sell, no major contingencies, plus the freedom to wait for the right deal. And then I can move quickly, not having to wait for my home to sell. That's the beauty of this decision. I created options. And in retirement, options are everything, especially on a modest savings. I've already heard it in the comments on other videos on this topic, but your rent will go up. And yeah, it probably will. But so did my property taxes, my insurance, the cost of every single repair. With home ownership, those costs go up too, often in unpredictable, inconvenient, and expensive ways. With rent, I'm locked into the same amount for the next year. And in a year, if I'm still choosing to rent, I'm sure the rent will increase, but I can plan for it. And if rent gets too high where I'm at, I can always move. I am not stuck. I am free to adjust based on what fits my life and my budget. My point here is to show you that retirement isn't one size fits all. It's not always own or rent. Sometimes it can be both. For me, this move brings less stress, more freedom, and better financial control. So if you're close to retirement, ask yourself, is your home supporting your life, or is it silently draining your energy and your budget? Because sometimes the smartest thing you can do is the thing no one else expects. I feel more secure, more rested, and more prepared now than I ever did in that big house. Let me know in the comments, would you ever sell and rent in retirement, even short term? Or does home ownership feel essential to your plan? And if you're navigating big life transitions like retirement and housing decisions, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We talk a lot here about retirement planning that actually fits real life, not just theory. And remember, you don't have to follow the old rules to do retirement right.